In 1995, an economist by the name of Richard Easterlin asked a very simple question. Would giving everyone more money make everyone happier?
From an economist's perspective, if you give someone more money, they can now buy more goods and services. They can buy a nicer phone, a nicer car. They can go to a more luxurious gym.
Which should make them better off than they were before in every single instance, i.e., it should make them happier. But is this actually true in real life? To study this, Easterlin first had to define what he meant by happiness. He defined happiness as life satisfaction. This is simply asking someone on a scale of 0 to 10, how satisfied are you with your life right now? He used this definition to then ask two key questions. The first question was, are richer people happier than poorer people in the same country? And the second question was, if everyone in a country becomes richer over time, do they all also become happier over time? Let's look at the first question. In this case, we're looking at the relative income of people instead of their absolute income. For example, in a country where the average person earns $20,000, someone who earns $35,000 is relatively rich in this country, and someone who earns $10,000 is relatively poor in this country compared to the average person. So, what did he find? As you'd expect, richer people were in fact happier than poorer people in the same country. But this wasn't the question he was particularly interested in. So let's look at the second question. The best example for this is Japan, where the average income increased by fivefold between 1958 and 1987. Just to give you an example of how big that is, in 1958, only 1% of households in Japan owned a car. By 1987, 60% of households owned a car, not to mention the other changes in life quality that earning 5 times more money brings with it. In fact, the change was so big that if you split the country by income into three groups in 1958, by 1987, the people in the lowest group would have been making more money than the people in the highest group in 1958. So what were the results? Turns out that increasing everyone's income over time has no effect on their happiness. People were just as happy or as sad as they were before. This wasn't only in Japan, but across all the other countries that Easterlin studied, including the US. But why? You see, if everyone in an economy becomes richer, the normative standards such as people's perception of luxury and what a good life is change with it, meaning that you now need much more than you did before to feel like you have a comfortable life. It's a game you can never really win. Many studies have shown that people's ideas of what a good income is increase as they earn more money, and that people in richer countries have very different standards of what a comfortable life is compared to people in relatively poorer countries. So as everyone becomes wealthier, what they used to think of as a comfortable life is no longer true, meaning they're still not living a comfortable, happy life according to this new normative definition. Ultimately, it seems that the only way income can affect happiness is relatively. So if you become richer while everyone else stays the same or becomes poorer, you'll be happier for it. Or if everyone else becomes poorer while you stay the same, you'll still be happier for it. But if everyone becomes richer together, it makes no difference.